Welcome back to the news at 10. The ECOWAS Bank for Investment and Development today received commitment from the federal government for greater investment and project funding support. The Vice President, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, while addressing a meeting of finance ministers from the ECOWAS countries in Abuja, explains that Nigeria's leadership of the continent is not just because of its population or its economy, but because of its capacity to create opportunities for Africans across borders. Our correspondent Ajuri Ngelale reports.
From Liberia to Nigeria and beyond, 15 ministers of finance from the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, gather in Abuja. The fact that this meeting is being held in Abuja reflects the hefty role played by Africa's largest economy in the ECOWAS Bank for Investment and Development, EBID. For the federal government, EBID's value lies in its potential to create opportunities across borders.
And the bank must be commended for its catalytic role in many game-changing investments in energy, in infrastructure, and even banking. In energy, the desert connection to link Nigeria, Benin, and Togo, which was co-financed by the ADB and the BOAD. In infrastructure, the bank contributed to the funding of TINAPA in Cross River State of Nigeria. TINAPA remains one of the most visionary projects designed to make Cross River State an international commercial and tourism hub.
However, the journey towards facilitating economic development in our sub-region has a number of challenges in line with our ECOWAS vision, and these we must address. I will mention just a few. Firstly, finance ministers must endeavour to speak about the radical economic transformation that will no doubt take us on a path to a better life for all citizens in our community. Secondly, we need to prioritise industrialisation, especially through labour-intensive manufacturing and agricultural processing to promote job creation.
The Regional Investment Bank pledges to continue to enhance profits on national contributions from member states.
The bank made a net profit of about 3.2 million in this account, thereby consolidating on the profit of 2.4 million that was realized in 2015, representing an increase of over 33.3%. The implementation of the 2016-2020 strategic plan is being constrained as a result of the lack of adequate resources.
With challenges of infrastructure confronting regional integration and inclusive economic growth, stakeholders assert that effective regional investments will reverse the trend. Ajuri Ngelale, Channels Television News.
Let's take a look at some thoughts now. Here's Baron Tony Uranta.
Thank you, Ijoma, and welcome to Sports News. Nigeria's women's basketball team, the Tigers, continued with their impressive performance in Group B of the AfroBasket Championship in Mali with a 106-33 points victory over Guinea. Despite booking a quarter-final ticket, the girls started the game with intent, leading at the end of the first quarter by 26-8 points. Nigeria will face Senegal on Wednesday in their last group games. Now, Mikel Obi and Odion Igalo are back as Super Eagles coach Gernot Rohr released his final squad for the 2018 FIFA World Cup qualifying duels with Cameroon's indomitable Lions. Leon Balogun returns after missing the games against Algeria and South Africa, while Victor Moses is also back after sitting out with the tie with the Bafana Bafana in June. Nigeria welcomed the African champions to Rio on September the 1st before flying to Yaoundé for a return session on September the 4th. Nigeria's under-20 women's coach, Christopher Danjuma, has rolled out a list of 30 players invited to camp ahead of the next month's FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup qualifying fixture against Tanzania. The Falconettes will play against their Tanzanian counterparts over 2 legs. The first leg will take place in Nigeria on September the 16th, while the reverse leg will be played a fortnight later in Dar es Salaam on September the 30th. And elsewhere, Barcelona are to sue former player Neymar for £7.8 million over his £200 million world record move to Paris Saint-Germain. The Brazil international made the move to his French club in August after buying out his contract. The Catalan club are now claiming a breach of contract by Neymar as he only signed a new 5-year deal in October. And former Premier League stars Carlos Tevez, Dirk Kuyt and Gabriel Heinz have been named by hackers Fancy Bears as the 3 footballers allowed to use banned medicines during the 2010 World Cup. The trio were among 25 players given therapeutic use of exemptions during the tournament in South Africa. This is the first time Fancy Bears hackers have released details about football, having previously released medical records of athletes. And that's it on Sports News for tonight. I'm Barong Tony Iranta, and Ijoma will be back with the wrap.
Thanks a lot, Barong. The United Nations says it hopes the international community will come together and help Afghanistan find a political solution that will bring peace to the country. This comes as the Afghan government praised U.S. President Donald Trump's decision to commit U.S. troops to the country to fight against the resurgent Taliban. President Ashraf Ghani thanked the U.S. for supporting the joint struggle against the threat of terrorism. And a Spanish judge has ordered 2 of the suspects in the Barcelona attack to be held without bail for being members of a terrorist organization, murder and explosives possession. One of them is to be remanded and one to be released. The 4 men appeared in court today, where Mohammed Houli said the cell had planned to hit more targets in the city. He was one of the 4 who gave evidence in court, saying they planned to use explosives against monuments, including the city's famous Sagrada Familia church. They had to scale back on the attacks when a house packed with bomb-making equipment blew up the day before. 8 members of the cell are dead, 2 were killed in the explosion, and 6 were later shot by police, including 5 after the Cambridge attack. And the main news again. The Lagos High Court today ordered an interim forfeiture of more properties linked to the former Minister of Petroleum, Dezani Alison Madueke, valued at 2.6 billion naira across the country. Also today, President Buhari met with security chiefs and ordered them to intensify operations to end renewed attacks in the northeast and other security challenges across the country. And surviving suspects in the Barcelona van attack testified in court and said their plan was to use explosives against key monuments in the city. That's the news at 10 tonight. Thanks a lot for staying with us. I'm Ijoma Bunyato. Good night.